Hello, I'm Dan Rather, and welcome to the CBS Evening News Online edition. Just ahead, the last big push. We'll have reports from both campaigns as the candidates race from one crucial battleground state to another. Also, U.S. Marines preparing for a possible invasion of the Iraqi city of Fallujah have plenty of things on their minds. Is the election one of them? We'll give you the inside story. It's all starting now on the CBS Evening News Online edition. The race for president is finishing hot and tight. On this election eve, the candidates made their final campaign sprints, practically crossing paths as they race from one swing state to another, trying to get their supporters to the polls and leave no undecided voter behind. A CBS News poll out tonight indicates President Bush may have a 1-point lead nationwide over Senator Kerry among likely voters. With the poll's margin of error, that's a virtual tie. We have CBS News correspondents deployed at key locations to bring you full coverage of this important election. First up, Jim Acosta, traveling with the Kerry campaign.
With only hours to go before the polls open around the country, it was a day for a final pitch, a final push, and a final photo op. Kerry, the Catholic, observed All Saints' Day at a church in the ultimate battleground state of Florida. Then, Kerry, the Vietnam veteran, thanked a member of his band of brothers, who was at his side most of this campaign.
See you tomorrow. I guess I'll have to call you Mr. President. I'll see you tomorrow. Huh?
Florida's 27 electoral votes in the Kerry column would make the senator hard to stop. Once again, the contest here is too close to call. As one Kerry aide said, the Florida team feels good, but we'll see who's right and who's wrong.
I've been coming to Florida enough that my brother Cam is thinking of running for governor. How's that?
Every last appearance and every last media market counts. In the last week, Kerry's traveled over 15,600 miles, making 24 appearances in 9 battleground states. At one more stop in Wisconsin, another sign of how tightly contested this state has become. The senator and President Bush crossed paths within minutes of each other campaigning in Milwaukee today. In the pouring rain, Kerry poured it on.
If you believe, as I do, that America's best days are ahead of us, then join me tomorrow and change the direction of America. Thank you. Let's go make it happen.
Kerry's getting help from President Bush's problems in Iraq and voter frustrations with the economy. What's hurting Kerry? More than anything else, the dominant issue of terrorism, which has boosted President Bush's standing in the polls. This evening, Kerry campaigns in Michigan, a blue state that's gotten redder in the closing days. Then it's on to Cleveland for one more encore performance with Bruce Springsteen. Tomorrow, Kerry heads to Boston, his hometown, where he will vote and wait. Dan.
Jim Acosta reporting live from Detroit City, covering the Kerry campaign. After his election eve swing through swing states, President Bush will end this night at his home in Crawford, Texas. CBS News correspondent Bill Plant reports on the final hours of President Bush's final campaign.
Marathon Monday, and President Bush reached for the stars. The country's Brooks and Dunn joined him as he worked to rally crucial conservative voters in the Midwest.
The finish line is in sight, and I just want to assure you I got the energy and the optimism and the enthusiasm to cross the line.
On this last day of the campaign, Mr. Bush started at dawn in Ohio to raise enthusiasm and get his voters to the polls in key swing states. After Ohio, a quick stop in Pennsylvania, then on to Wisconsin. 2 stops in Iowa, then New Mexico. After that, a late-night rally in Dallas before the president finally calls it a night at his Crawford, Texas ranch around 1 a.m. Meanwhile, Vice President Dick Cheney was dispatched to Honolulu, a 15-hour trip to chase Hawaii's 4 electoral votes. The normally low-key Cheney even donned a flower lei.
I was in the neighborhood and thought I'd stop by and say, aloha.
Despite the frantic last-minute vote chasing, Mr. Bush's political strategists say they're confident of victory. They insist their get-out-the-vote operation, over 1 million volunteers, will get people to the polls more effectively than the Democrats.
I see a day that's better for every American, and tomorrow the American people have a chance to bring that better day by voting for Bush Cheney.
But it's the electoral vote math that worries the Bush campaign. The arithmetic gets difficult if the president loses any 2 of the big swing states, Florida, Pennsylvania, and Ohio. And lost jobs in both Ohio and Pennsylvania have made those states a big question mark. And there's something else which bothers the Bush campaign a lot. Incumbent presidents don't usually get reelected if their poll ratings are below 50%. President Bush's stand at 47%. Dan?
The war goes on. U.S. Marines battled Iraqi militants and suspected foreign terrorists again today in the Sunni Triangle west of Baghdad. U.S. artillery and airstrikes pounded Fallujah, and there were street clashes in Ramadi as the Marines prepare for their long-awaited final push into both cities. CBS News combat correspondent Kimberly Dozier with the Marines has the inside story.
U.S. Marines and militants traded fire on Ramadi's main streets, clashes that grow deadlier by the day. It's a grim prelude to what everyone here believes will be an all-out siege of Ramadi and neighboring Fallujah. The Marines are preparing for anything the enemy might throw at them, a necessary precaution after militants claim to possess weapons of mass destruction. If the attack goes ahead, Iraqi civilians will be warned in no uncertain terms to get out and stay out. The message in Arabic says it all.
Stay away or we'll kill you.
Iraq's prime minister says the militants must surrender.
I cannot stand back and allow such attacks to continue.
The only response so far, the Americans say, is violence. At least 9 Marines died over the weekend, killed by a suicide bomber and guerrilla attacks.
But I still want to see your gas mask and your extra filter.
Amid preparations for the fight, the battle for the White House seemed very far away. Most didn't even know Election Day was almost here.
I really don't have any favorites right now. They both got their pluses and their minuses. But, you know, whoever comes out on top, I'm going to follow their orders and do my job.
They all agreed on one thing. They think whoever wins won't make any difference to what happens here. They think American troops will still be fighting to drive terrorists out of Fallujah, Ramadi, and the rest of Iraq for years to come.
The sooner we can end this, the sooner we can come in here and help them rebuild and get on with life and hopefully a better life.
Still risking American lives to make good an American promise, to make Iraq secure and free. Kimberly Dozier, CBS News, with the 1st Marine Expeditionary Force near Fallujah.
So we're down now to the last few hours of a presidential election campaign that seems to have gone on forever, almost since the last one ended. Ended so bitterly, with bad calls by television networks, including CBS, disputed vote counting, a drawn-out court battle, and finally, a controversial Supreme Court ruling that decided the election. To this day, 3 out of 4 Democrats believe the election was not legitimate. The hard feelings were put aside, at least temporarily, as Americans united in the wake of 9/11. But then came the war in Iraq, and America was divided again. Nearly 3 out of 4 voters describe this election as very important, and many are showing it by actively supporting a candidate or joining the hundreds of thousands registering for the first time, and then, yes, voting. The turnout in states that allow early voting has been heavy and encouraging. We hope you will vote too. It is not only your right, but your responsibility. It will be our responsibility to report the results as accurately as we can, to estimate whom we believe has won only when we are fully confident we have the information to do that. Our attitude is we'd rather be last than wrong. And remember, please, CBS News will not decide who won or lost. You will, with your vote. More stories are just a click away now, but don't forget to join me on television for the on-air edition of the CBS Evening News. On Tuesday's broadcast, Election Day 2004. Now it's up to you, the voters. Our CBS News team will take you around the country for detailed analysis of the turnout and the early trends. For CBSNews.com, I'm Dan Rather.